Then we suddenly cut to a flashback from Baki's childhood. Standing before him is his father, Yujiro Hanma. During training, Yujiro explains the essence of speed. He talks about techniques like flying swallow fist, flashes of light, and movements so fast they seem invisible. But then he reveals a harsh truth. No matter how fast an attack is, if your opponent is prepared, it won't land. Anything can be avoided if you see it coming. But then Yujiro smirks because there is one exception, a punch that always lands, no matter the defense, no matter the preparation. Even a world champion stepping into the ring knows they cannot avoid it. Yujiro names it in his usual exaggerated way, the Galactica Phantom Ultra Super 44 Magnum Ultimate. Then he simplifies it, it's just a jab. A perfectly executed jab that breaks through any defense with pure speed. He tells Baki speed is everything, and because of that, this is one of the most macho techniques there is. Then comes the final lesson, practice it, again and again until it becomes second nature. Because the jab is the fastest technique in all of modern martial arts, we return to the present, where Baki lands a jab. For a brief moment, even Musashi drops to his knees. The impact is real. Baki confidently says that in the last 10 seconds he could have killed Musashi at least 3 times. To his surprise, Musashi calmly agrees. He admits that the boy truly had the chance to kill him, but then he adds something even more shocking. Just before Baki made his move, Musashi felt something, a strange presence, almost as if the attack had already touched his face before it even landed. Hearing this, Baki is confused and asks if that means Musashi saw the attack coming. Musashi explains that Baki's presence is too strong, too obvious. Because of that, his movements become easier to read. In other words, even before Baki acts, Musashi can sense what he's about to do. Baki realizes what this means. Musashi could have dodged the jab, but Musashi makes it clear that wasn't the point. If someone cannot defend against a simple jab, they cannot call themselves a true martial artist. The real reason he didn't dodge was curiosity. He wanted to experience Baki's attack. Musashi then describes the moment in detail. He expected the punch to land in the center of his face, but at the last instant, Baki changed the target and struck the jaw instead. The impact distorted his sense of balance. It felt as if the ground itself tilted and rose toward him. By the time he reacted, his body was already finished. For a brief moment, he even lost consciousness. Even though it looked like a light exchange, Musashi admits that he lost himself in that moment. Baki, however, doesn't see it as a game at all. The atmosphere changes and Musashi formally introduces himself, confirming his identity. Baki responds calmly, already aware of who he is. Then Musashi gives a serious warning. This time, he won't hold back. In Baki's mind, he can already picture it, Musashi using his legendary two-sword style, Knight Ikarayu. Now the situation becomes clear. A fighter from the modern era is about to face the greatest swordsman from the past, and instead of fear, Baki feels excitement. He cannot walk away from this. But what truly sets Musashi apart is revealed in the next moment. Before Baki even throws a punch, before his foot pushes off the ground, before the decision is even fully formed in his mind, Musashi can already see it. Not the movement itself, but something deeper, a subtle signal, something even Baki himself wasn't aware of. A sign that revealed his action half a second before he even decided to make it. This idea connects to a theory proposed in 1991 by Danish author Tor Nørretranders, who suggested that human consciousness actually arrives half a second too late. People believe their actions come from conscious decisions, but in reality, the brain has already begun sending signals before they even realize it. Now imagine someone who can read those signals. Someone who can sense your intention before you even know it yourself. Such a person could defend against or even completely stop an attack that should be impossible to react to, even something as fast as light. Back in the present, Baki tries to attack again, but before the punch is even thrown, Musashi catches it. Baki is stunned. He couldn't even begin his move. Then suddenly Musashi strikes, in the body but in his mind. Baki feels as if he's been cut down, overwhelmed by invisible pain, like being sliced apart without a blade. Still, Baki refuses to stop. He forces his body to move and throws another punch. This time, Musashi reacts differently. He leaps and blocks with his leg midair. But even then, Baki's punch still connects with enough force to launch Musashi upward, sending him on the roof. Then Musashi acknowledges it. He admits that the boy exceeded his expectations. That counterattack was something he didn't anticipate, but instead of ending it there, Musashi smiles. He wants more excitement, more challenge. With that, he leaps away, leaving the area. And as the adrenaline fades, Baki's body finally gives out. The damage, the pressure, the overwhelming gap, it all catches up to him, and he collapses unconscious. After leaving the fight, Miyamoto Musashi wanders alone into the modern city. As he walks, something immediately catches his attention. A massive digital billboard. He stops, completely stunned. To him, it looks like a painting, but it's moving, changing constantly, faster than anything he has ever seen. The wall itself seems alive, yet no one around him even pays attention to it. He looks up at its overwhelming size, towering high above. To Musashi, it feels impossible. Something so massive, so unnatural, and yet, for everyone else, it's completely normal. He realizes just how different this world is, almost absurdly different. As he continues walking, another shock hits him. A train rushes past. Its speed is unbelievable. Far faster than any horse he has ever seen, and inside it, countless people move together as if it's nothing unusual. At that moment, reality finally sinks in. This world is not his. More than 400 years have passed since his time, and the difference is beyond comparison. He begins to question it. Can something this enormous, this advanced really be created by human hands? As he walks through the streets, people begin to stare at him, barefoot, wearing outdated clothing, acting completely out of place. Their uneasy glances don't go unnoticed. Musashi quietly reflects that perhaps he should have worn sandals, but then he corrects himself. He cannot allow these things to disturb him. He reminds himself, buildings, machines, none of these matters. His opponents are not structures, his opponents are people, and defeating people is the only thing he has ever known. Suddenly, 2 police officers approached him. They politely stop him and begin asking questions. Musashi, unfamiliar with their role, asks who they are. They identify themselves as police. They immediately question why he isn't wearing shoes. Musashi calmly admits that he simply forgot. This only makes them more suspicious. They ask for identification, his name, his birth date, and where he lives. Musashi answers honestly. He says his name is Miyamoto Musashi, that he was born in the 12th year of Tensho, and that he has only just arrived here. The officers are stunned. To them, this sounds completely absurd. They assume he must be under the influence of drugs, something Musashi doesn't even understand. At that point, they decide to take him in. But in an instant, he effortlessly dodges them. The officers are shocked, unable to comprehend his speed. Then, with a single strike each, Musashi knocks them down. On the other side, we see Baki Hanma slowly walking back home. His mind is completely occupied. For a moment, he wonders if everything that happened was just a dream, but he immediately rejects that thought. There's no way it was a dream. He can still feel it, that attack that ran across his body. The sensation is still there, sharp, real, unforgettable. Even now, he struggles to fully accept it. After all, who would believe something like this? Even he can barely believe it himself. He went toe-to-toe with a samurai, not just any samurai, Miyamoto Musashi himself. Tokugawa tried to explain everything to him, but the logic behind it never really made sense. Still, one thing is certain, somehow Tokugawa brought Musashi back. Science doesn't matter, because the proof is carved directly into Baki's body. As he walks, Baki reflects on what makes Musashi so terrifying. The origin of the idea of the strongest, it all traces back to him. A man who can shatter fresh bamboo with a single swing just from the strength of his grip. A man who can read his opponent's intentions before they even act. To Musashi, if you can't understand that principle, you can't call yourself a martial artist. Baki compares their worlds. He's been training for over 10 years, building his own style, but Musashi is completely different, casual, natural, because in his time everyone carried weapons. A fight wasn't a competition, it was life or death, lose once and you lose your head. That kind of world forces evolution. The ability to read intent, to predict movement, it wasn't talent, it was survival. And then Baki smiles, because instead of fear he feels excitement. This is exactly what he needed. First, he fought a primitive man like Pickle, and now he's facing the greatest swordsman in history. Step by step, everything is coming together. It feels as if the world itself, even the gods, are guiding him towards something. A final answer: who is truly the strongest? Baki realizes something else. It won't be long before people find out. Musashi is alive, and when that happens, everything is going to spiral out of control. Then his thoughts shift to something deeper: kata. In no other martial art is it valued as much as in Japan. Kata is more than just movement. It's a message passed down through generations. A way for masters to leave behind their essence. That's how swordsmanship evolved, how disciplines like judo were formed. Through kata, the spirit of the past continues to live on. Baki understands what he must do. If he wants to reach Musashi's level, he needs to refine his own kata. Now inside his basement, he begins training, and he asks himself which kata. The answer is obvious: his own, Baki's kata, created by Baki for Baki. To him, kata isn't just a sequence of moves, it's about understanding the technique at its deepest level. Every motion must have meaning, every movement must serve a purpose. He questions everything. Is he moving efficiently? Is his body responding correctly? Are his techniques truly complete? He is fighting Musashi's shadow, and Musashi has already defeated him twice. He knows right now he's not ready, but soon that will change. As he continues training, a confident thought crosses his mind. Next time, he won't just fight Musashi. He'll stand before him, calm enough to yawn in his face. Back on the streets, Musashi is no longer just a mysterious figure. He has become wanted. Police across the area are on high alert, and his presence is now spreading rapidly through the media. The scene cuts to a news broadcast. A calm report about the weather in Yoyogi Park is suddenly interrupted by breaking news. An incident in Shibuya: a man calling himself Musashi Miyamoto has clashed with police. Security footage begins to play. 5 officers surround a large man dressed in traditional clothing, barefoot, completely expressionless. Musashi slowly raises his arms. An officer moves in from behind to restrain him, but in an instant, Musashi disappears from his grasp. The officer suddenly collapses in pain, even though no visible strike is seen. Another officer grabs him from behind, but just as quickly, Musashi targets a vital point and the man drops to the ground. A baton is drawn, swung, and then somehow it's already in Musashi's hand. No one can even see how it happened. The officer falls, convulsing. Now only 2 remain. They rush him together, but again, something happens too fast to perceive. Like a silent sword fight without visible blows, both officers fall. And Musashi calmly simply walks away, as if nothing happened. The report continues. Earlier that same day, he had already injured multiple officers in another district. Now the entire Tokyo Metropolitan Police is on alert. The media calls him terrifying, a man using the name of a legendary swordsman from the past. But the question remains, who is he really? Meanwhile, all the fighters have seen the news. Doppo, Orochi, and Katsumi sit together in silence. The weight of what they just witnessed hangs heavy in the air. Finally, Doppo breaks it. They have just seen something impossible. And yet, they both understand the truth. That man was the real Musashi. Elsewhere, Shibukawa reflects on it. He doesn't take it lightly. Without a single word being spoken, he feels it clearly. Musashi's existence itself has insulted him. As if everything he has mastered has been reduced to nothing, not through words but through sheer skill. Then we see Madobe. Unlike the others, his reaction is different, more serious, more urgent. For some time, he had felt the need to change, to prepare for something, and now he finally understands why. But even he didn't expect it to be this extreme. He realizes the danger Musashi represents. Not just to the world, but to every fighter, to Baki, to Doppo, to Shibukawa, even to the strongest creature alive, Yujiro. And so Madobe reaches a conclusion, a role he must take on, not as a fighter seeking victory, but as someone who must protect them all. And that's where episode 5 ends. If you enjoyed this episode and want more, leave a comment on this video and I'll bring the next one soon. Thanks for watching.